Most tech marketing today relies heavily on raw hardware specifications. Brands consistently shout about gigahertz, RAM, and megapixel counts. Competing strictly on those technical numbers traps a brand in a race to the bottom. Someone can always manufacture a cheaper screen or a slightly faster processor. Apple avoids that fight completely. They command the premium segment by shaping consumer perception rather than chasing hardware supremacy. Buying an iPhone is an act of identity signaling. The technical specifications are merely the tools users use to publicly justify a deeply emotional choice. This chart plots price against demand. The upward curve defines a Veblen good, a product where demand actually increases as price increases. Apple intentionally pushes pricing higher. An entry point of $1,199 creates an economic barrier that directly enhances status signaling. They engineered an ecosystem where the prohibitive cost is the primary feature, not a bug. To maintain that premium status, Apple relies on cognitive ease. By removing visual clutter, their designs reduce consumer stress and make the technology feel intuitively simple. This approach is rooted in Eastern philosophy and the Bauhaus architectural movement, which prioritizes clean, utilitarian geometric lines over excessive decoration. That philosophy of subtraction translates directly to the product experience. The original iPhone arrived in a minimalist black box, entirely devoid of technical text or specifications. While rival companies flood consumers with endless configuration options and features, Apple severely restricts choices to prevent decision fatigue. Simplicity acts as a highly calculated psychological tool. It lowers the mental burden on the user, allowing Apple to command a premium price for a frictionless experience. Faster, more urgent tone. That pristine hardware also functions as a tool for conspicuous consumption, a way for users to visibly broadcast their socioeconomic position. The distinct white stems of AirPods sticking out of a user's ears serve as an immediate, recognizable marker of disposable income and ecosystem membership. This visual represents a chat interface, highlighting a deliberate software design choice, a single green message block surrounded by dozens of blue ones. This color coding system creates tangible social anxiety. For teenagers, a green bubble can lead to active exclusion from peer circles. Non-users frequently abandon their current phones and adopt the product, simply to avoid being excluded from the dominant social network. Apple weaponizes its own users into a community of enforcers, relying on intense social pressure as a highly effective customer acquisition engine. That acquisition loop solidifies inside their physical retail stores. Rather than transaction-focused inventory hubs, these bright, glass-walled spaces are designed as immersive brand experiences. Purchasing the physical hardware immediately funnels the user into a digital walled garden, interconnecting their daily habits through services like iCloud. Over time, the switching costs become staggering. Leaving the ecosystem feels like losing your personal data, your saved memories, and your social connectivity. Pairing this experiential physical retail with an airtight digital lock-in is the precise engine driving Apple's 90% global retention rate. Apple's multi-trillion-dollar valuation is the direct result of repositioning a functional tool as a primary indicator of social class. Customers will always seek logic, like processing speed or battery life, to justify their purchase, but the actual buying decision is driven entirely by emotion. Fighting competitors purely on product features and specifications is a mathematically losing battle for any business. Someone will always build it cheaper. Successful founders build brands that prioritize how a customer feels over what a device does. When a product aligns with a buyer's self-image, the hardware specifications become secondary. Competing on technical specs eventually forces a race to the bottom on price. Apple's playbook suggests a different path. Engineer the lifestyle first, and the hardware becomes the entrance fee to a world your customers simply refuse to leave.